brothers, I didn't know we could do this, bro, but this is going to be a hell of a video I'm going to be putting out for you. Okay, so we've got our iPad screen on the screen. Let's go, bros. Come on. Right, so we're going to be designing and we're going to be doing how to design a tattoo in this video with ProCreate on the iPad. First, you do need an iPad. This is an iPad Pro M4 edition, and this is the Apple Pencil Pro. Very important to get. Okay, so let's just say we want to do a sleeve. We're going to do a sleeve design today. So what we're first going to do, swipe up from here, go into Pinterest. Pinterest is where I get most of my references from. It's the easiest way as well. There's just a ton of really cool stuff on here. Like, that's super dope. I could already use that in a sleeve design if we wanted to go down that route. I'm going to save that actually, as I'm just going to save that for future reference. This is really cool as well. Love that. I'm going to save that to sculptures. I'm just using this video in your time to save my own references. Okay, that's sick. That's really cool. That's really cool. I'm going to save that. So I'm going to save that to Chicano. So if we wanted to go into right, so let's have a hypothetical. Let's just move that off because that's going to be demonetizing me. Let's have a hypothetical sleeve. Right, customer comes in, really want a Greek mythology sleeve. Everyone loves a Greek mythology sleeve. I love doing them. Let's do it. So first of all, we go into Pinterest, we search here, and we go Greek statues. Yeah, Zeus, Hades, Pegasus, all of that shit. Right, so what we're going to do is go into here. So what we can do in here is just type in Greek Zeus statue, and then what we'll do is we'll just look through. Now in my when I look for references, I look for contrast. That's the biggest thing you need to look for, is contrast. This is quite contrasted, but it's already someone's design, I believe. So what we'll do is we'll go in. This is cool. There's a load of contrast here. You can see in the left side of the face, you've got a ton of dark tones, and you've got a ton of light areas as well, where you've got light hitting the face. So what we'll do is we'll download that image, and then we'll go up here and we'll get some, maybe let's get, we'll get what should we do? Okay, actually, first of all, what I'm going to go into is, so say if your customer wants an arm, 9 times out of 10 what I'll do is I'll get a picture of his actual arm, because everyone's arm's different and you've got different flow to different bodies. But say your client looks like this, I've taken this picture of said client, so we'll download that image. Then we'll go back to ProCreate, we'll drop that image in, right? Drop that image of your arm in the canvas, right? We'll go up here, insert photo, add that image we just found. It's looking the right way, which is great. If it wasn't looking, say if your client's arm was looking this way, you'd have to change the direction of this this image, because it just doesn't flow with the body, right? You'd have to change it to that way, because you always have to. So say if you've got the left arm, it wants to be looking towards your body. On the right arm, it wants to be looking towards your body, not away from your body, always towards your body. So I like to go straight up here, click on this little N, and all the way up to multiply. This is the easiest way to do this, guys. Yeah, you want to just mess around with the size, mess around with the pitch of the image. I like blowing mine up quite big. That hand can fall right on there like that. I'll duplicate that, turn that off, just so we've got the full image after. So this is the scenario where we're in front of the client. This is like, I like to design my sleeves in front of the client, so we're both giving each other ideas on what we want in the sleeve, etc., etc. I can look for the references pretty quickly, and within 30 minutes to 45 minutes, we've got a full-blown sleeve ready to go, right? And then we just start the first session and work our way up, or work our way down, depending on which way we go. So we've got that duplicated, turned off, because we're going to be erasing some of this. So I like to use a soft brush just to erase, adjust the size, just so the client can see what it's going to look like on the arm without any background as well. So like how it's going to wrap, etc. So we've got that in here like that. This will go up here like this, and then we've got that in there. I like to just smooth. So this tool up the top here, I like to use a soft brush again. This is a smudge tool, so we can zoom in here. We can just smudge this out just to create some more. I don't like how big that brush is, so we'll go back. We'll just smudge that out here just to fill that gap there, so the client knows how that's going to look. So we've got that in there. Down on the bottom of the arm, what we can do is we can go with the Pegasus. Actually, what you can do is get your phone, jump on ChatGPT and ask what. Just use AI, guys, to help you. Yeah. My client wants a sleeve, tattoo sleeve. He wants Greek mythology. I found a picture of Zeus for the top of the arm. What would you suggest to put at the bottom? Let's see if ChatGPT gives us any gold. Here are strong, reliable sleeve flow ideas that pair perfectly with Zeus. Hades, I've done that before. Poseidon is quite cool, but we want to keep the whole side quite flowy and inform. A powerful creature like Cerberus, that's obviously Hades' three-headed dog. A mythological scene, lightning versus Titans, which is really cool. Greek architectural elements. If Zeus is on the upper arm, the strongest visual and storytelling matches Hades or Poseidon on the bottom or on the forearm. Both good contrast, both fill space nicely, and both instantly recognizable within the mythology scene. So what we can do then is we can go, well, let's have a look at Pinterest again. We'll go back to Pinterest. That's Buddy's arm. Let's go into Hades statue. We're keeping it statue based. We can't mix it up. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. That's really cool. I've never seen that before. That's dope as hell. I love that. These three-headed dogs is quite cool as well. You could have the Pegasus in there. That's Hercules really though, isn't it? Yeah, let's just see how this fits. So we'll download that image. And we'll insert that image. Again, straight to the multiply, and then you want to duplicate that, turn that off, and then you've got this image here. This is pretty dope actually. One thing I will do though, guys, and one thing I will suggest is I like to go into the curves on every thing I do, reference I do, and I just mess around with how dark pieces are. So if we turn off Buddy's arm, Also, you need to change it to black and white. This was already black and white, but if you go up here to the magic wand, you'll see you've got saturation stuff. Just turn the saturation down. We'll do that for argument's sake on this layer as well. It was a bit coloured, so that's fine. Let's turn that fully black and white now. So this Hades could sort of sit around there like that. So let's go into the arm again. This is quite sick, actually. What I'll do is I'll just double tap that with the fingers, slide the opacity down just so we can see the background on where the arm is. And I like to just do this, which is quite cool as well. That's pretty dope. Blow this up a tiny bit. This will wrap a tiny bit as well, which is good. Quite like that. Maybe pitch it a bit more like that. Let's get rid of some of this background now, which will kind of tie it together. We'll do the sides first. Little nipples there. Some of these sides, we'll just blend this out as well, just around his wrist area. These horns of Hades will come down like that. Boom, boom, boom. Right, so we'll turn this one off. We'll just have a look and see what's going on up here. So we'll just touch into here. Like that. It's all about less is more, basically, with this type of thing. That's the wrong one. Like that. We'll just lighten that up as well. And what we'll do is we'll go into the Zeus at the top and we'll just take out some of this hand behind just so it brings out some of these horns here, because you don't want any of this showing through. We'll go down and we'll just get this into here as well, just so we've got these horns coming through this image like so. Even further down, just so it's all overlapping and looks nice for the customer to see. Like that. And then this goes up here as well. We can just stick this up here as well if we wanted to do that. Bang some of this out. Boom, boom, boom. This is looking sick. That's dope. Turn that up. Turn the Hades up. That's pretty dope. So the thing that's popping out to me here is this dark spot just here. If you can see that, let me just do that. Bang. If you can see that around here, I don't like that area. I don't mind it, but I don't like it because it's quite dark. So what we can do is just feather this out a bit more on the Hades. Make sure the Hades is selected. Just feather that out just to bring them hands behind there, just poking through like that as well. Just neaten that bit up there. That's a pretty dope sleeve. What I would suggest for the Zeus, because it's quite overpowering. I mean, it looks dope so far anyway. It's quite overpowering. I would just distort some of this back. Oh, so I just bring some of that in, just so the face is a tiny bit less demanding in the piece. So it just balances it up a bit. You know what I'm saying? You need to do both edges. You can just stick that like that. So let's have a look at. Can you see that? It's just less. It just balances the whole sleeve out. That's another good tip, guys, to do. I quite like the things going up. Right, so what we can then do, go into your white, create a new layer over the top of everything. So drag that to the top, And then what I would suggest is go into Smooth Detailer. Let's go into Oliver Brush, Sketch Brush. And you can start to add some like flowy kind of design to it. So make sure we're on the right layer. That's quite a nice brush, this. So spin it to the side and just start to. So the way I like to look at arms, obviously I do touch on this in my course as well. I go into super amounts of depth in this. This is just a quick idea on how I kind of work. And I haven't done one for about 5 years, so I wanted to do an updated version video for my channel. So yeah, we'll go through this kind of direction on the arm, just so it all flows quite nicely. So you want to zoom in, and we'll just pick out some. Well, actually, if we instead of doing like smoke, we could add some more of these lightning bits through, which would give it really quite a cool effect, I think, even coming through Hades a bit as well. So we can add some of these into this, just create your own kind of lightning effect through. Sort of like that. And then we can come through here as well, through his eye. Fuck you, Hades. Bang. Yeah, it looks like he's being defeated, bruv. And I'll show you what it's going to look like after. Because when we turn it off, so we'll go behind here, we'll come out of this bit, go over this, so it's creating a bit more in and out on the sleeve. It like just adds a bit more depth to the piece. We can even come through here and add a bit of lightning through here as well. No, I'm going to do it the other way. Like that. That's better. That flows way better. This up here can come up here like that. Look at this now. Now we're getting some flow. Like I said earlier, guys, with the direction of the sleeve, you kind of want to do that with some of this lightning as well. You don't want to over saturate the piece with the lightning because it's just going to lose a bit of balance. So let's do that. Let's have a look and see what this looks like. So just maybe put another one just into there, through there, just behind his head. Right, so if we turn this off and save, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take out some of this through his head. I don't really like it. I might just add a bit through here instead at the bottom. And then join these bits up here like this, just over the Hades head to the left, to the top. Right, now you want to save this image. Bang. Yeah. Save image. And then we go back onto here. We delete all these bits and bobs we've done. And then we want to add the image back over to show the client. Turn that to multiply. Boom. That's what it looks like in skin tone. That looks hard as shit, bruv. I'm using this. Don't steal this. Don't steal this. This is sick. That's hard. Zeus versus Hades. Bang. Sleeve idea. Zeus versus Hades. Bang. Let's go, boys. That's sick. That is sick. If you wanted to go onto his hand, you could add a bit onto his hand as well. You could have maybe some to cap it off around the top. Yeah. Okay, I'm not sure how I want to cap it off. Like I do want to cap it off. I'm only going for a sleeve. Don't want to go onto my chest. Even if you was to go on your chest, it's easy to do this. I've got something on my head. We go for Greek. Pattern. Yeah. Boom. This is exactly what I had in my head. Something like that. That's even better. That's even cooler. Look at that. We'll save this to sculptures. We'll save that to Greek. That's sick as hell. That's really cool. I love that. You could turn that to white and have it around the top of the shoulder if you wanted. So again, insert photo, bish bash bosh, whack that in there. Turn this to multiply to get rid of the white. Position it accordingly around the top if you wanted to put it around the top there. We'd probably have to distort that anyway. Nah, we're not going to distort that. We're just going to turn that down, uniform. If you wanted this around the top, if you wanted to cap it off from just under his armpit around the top of his shoulder into his back of his armpit, so we'd leave all this out here, and then we'd leave all that out here as well, like just go into his armpit. That'd be more like that. You could have that as well, and then just get rid of this around the top, just so it kind of pokes through, just kind of showing him what it's going to look like, or her. If you wanted to do that, don't particularly like that. It's not, it would look better, but that's the idea, to cap it off. It's just not. We haven't got enough skin space up there. But yeah, you could do that to cap the top off, or you could even do that to cap the bottom off if you wanted to, with a straight line instead around the wrist, all the way around. So let's go into this again. What you could do with that other image, just to cap the bottom off. Oh no, we added it to go in here. Added it to here, didn't we? Sculptures. Go into here. We'll have that. Download image. I love this. I think that's sick. We'll add that in. We'll flip that. So it's yeah, you could flip it to white. So saturation. No, you need curves. We'll just go flip that to white. Bing, 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 like that. Take that down. You can add sort of this type of thing to the bottom of the arm. If you wanted to do this, if the guy wanted this, which would be quite cool on his hand, maybe. Get rid of some of this. Smooth this out a bit. Which will just cap this bit off here as well. Like this. I'm like Bob Ross, bruv. Just put a little bit in there. Put a bit in there. And then we just have a bit of that in there. That's quite dark though. That is quite dark. So we just have to even it up. So we just take some of this out, some of this background out. You might like it. You might like the darkness. I believe in a thing called love. You know, you know. What we'll do actually is we'll go into this sleeve idea as well, and we'll just take some of this, just so we can get some of these lines through. That's quite cool. Or you could just, or you could flip it the other way, because it does look a bit dark. Can't lie. You could flip this the other way again. Just have it sort of like this instead. Maybe something like that if you wanted to cap it off, or you could just leave it and just shade it out, fade it out, depending. I quite like it like that. You could even like come into here, because it's got quite a nice finish to this with the shadows. You can even like extend the shadows out if you wanted to. not like that. Move this down, make this a bit like that. Extend the shadows down. Obviously it's going to wrap around the arm anyway. But it's just, yeah, just extend these shadows down and then have it finishing like that, which is probably better, to be honest. But yeah, that is a quick Greek mythology themed sleeve, which looks dope, bruv, in my opinion, in 25 minutes. And I guarantee if a customer was to come and be like, yeah, I want to book in for a day session, blah, 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 and you create that in like 20 minutes, it'd be like, oh yeah, this is sick. This is sick. It's just knowing what you're looking at in terms of references, direction of the arm, the flow, all that jazz. I do teach this in my online course. If you do want to jump on that or be mentored by me, hit up the Holy Grail tattooeducation.com. The link will be in the description of the video. You can check out some courses there, shading courses. There's an Ink Hustler program as well, which I shot a few years back. Or yeah, just hit me up on the DMs on Instagram, and if you want one-to-one mentoring, we can go through that. I'm busy writing a business mentor as well, for social media and how to market yourself properly, etc. And yeah, I think that's dope, bro. This is sick. If you learned anything in this video, please smash that like button. Please subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.